This is so wrong! He's back! It's him! He with a capital H!
What's the difference between Captain Falcon and my hairline? Well, it's simple. My hairline actually managed to come back. Nintendo is no stranger to pushing ideas to their absolute limit.
There I am, Gary, there I am!
Just time and time and time and time again, F-Zero has proven to be symbiotic with the rapid development of consoles, creating new tech that stands the test of time even to this day.
To this day!
Every time this franchise steps into the ring, it fucking annihilates the competition. That being said, I've been a Falcon main ever since the Brawl days. And I've always wondered why there was such a disconnect between his great representation in Smash Brothers and his completely abominable rep like everywhere else.
Fuck you!
I had to do some digging. I vaguely knew about a Captain Falcon anime since I was a kid. I have some foggy memories of seeing promos of it on the Foxbox, and of course I watched the final Falcon Punch scene on YouTube like everyone else. Like, based on the detailed art style and complete badassery of what was happening on screen, I just assumed it was really good, and then saw nothing from it ever again. Keep in mind, I was a casual F-Zero fan at the time, so I wasn't actively searching for content like I do now. I tolerated the original F-Zero, and I actually loved playing X. How I managed to get the game?
No comment, next question. No comment, next question.
But the fact that I practically forgot about the TV show's existence after a while just goes to show how obscure it really was. Until high school, when I suddenly started having an ungodly hyperfixation on this franchise. Like, dog, the first half of my sophomore year, I was glued to this shit. My teachers hated me for this. I could have been learning, gaming, rizzing. We got better things to do, my boy, because F-Zero stands for finding zero bitches and watching anime instead. Welcome to F-Zero, The Legend of Falcon.
You're the famous Falcon.
What a weird, unorthodox, unconventional predicament. Why is noximation dedicating an egregious amount of time to a 20-year-old anime series based on a failed video game franchise? Well, I'm gonna put it simple. This show is different. This show is really different. I walked into this show expecting complete trash, but I actually came out crying multiple times and coming to the conclusion that the F-Zero anime makes you rethink life. That sounds very stupid. Like, what crack was this guy smoking? But it's true. It's one of those shows. You know, it's one of those shows.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man. What the fuck is that like?
You missed 50 episodes of content.
Mods, crush his skull.
Okay. The story follows Ryu Suzaku, a Formula One race car driver and talented young cop who falls into a coma after a confrontation with New York's king of crime, Zoda. After waking up 150 years into a future populated by aliens, robots, and superheroes, he's enlisted into a team called the Mobile Task Force. Their mission? Destroy a terrorist organization named Dark Million by beating them in the galaxy-wide, high-stakes, fuck-up-and-you-die speed racing phenomenon, F-Zero. Ryu must find his purpose in this new universe he calls home. The answers he's looking for may be closer than he thinks, and his rivals even closer. Enter Captain Falcon. This is probably the only isekai I've ever watched that doesn't reek complete ass. If you weren't aware, the F-Zero games have an expansive lore and continuity, which is mostly explained through supplementary material, like manuals and or comic books. Legend of Falcon takes that and chucks it onto the goddamn street like roadkill. Yeah, the anime series takes place in a completely different canon. It's not canon, but it's simply a different timeline within the greater F-Zero mythos. I like this. It allows its own story to be told without having to be limited or bogged down by pre-existing material. It uses a character created for the show, Ryu, to introduce us to this gigantic world firsthand. The first thing you're probably going to notice right away is that the show doesn't explicitly focus on Captain Falcon. Yes, it does. He's more of a third party who doesn't really get involved with the show's story unless the stakes are severely high. This is false. He's in every single episode. This will make sense when you watch it. Instead, this 51 episode anime series focuses on Ryu as the centerpiece, along with his teammates in the Mobile Task Force as they thwart Dark Million's plots. And let me tell you, this is the best thing they could have possibly done. See, everyone going into the show knows Falcon. We love Falcon. Captain Falcon saved me from my sins. But even though he's the main center of intrigue for this franchise in real life, he's canonically shrouded in mystery. By shifting the role of the protagonist to a new, original character, the show forces us to get attached to him and the many people he encounters and surrounds himself with. And it makes every time Falcon does show up insanely impactful. I often forget Falcon was explicitly even in this show and didn't really care because these four idiots absolutely stole my heart.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Now that you've had your year, you're all go to hell. Go to fucking hell now. Maximum destruction.
Peep this. The second episode is literally titled Captain Falcon, and the only thing he does in that 23-minute time slot is show up and scare niggas away by his mere presence. Every dude in the world just became non-binary because he is the only him. This dude pops in uninvited and just starts doing some F-Zero X tool-assisted speedrun type shit. And every single time, it is so raw. And it's like this for every character. The Black Force energy in F-Zero is this is astronomical. Astro-fucking-nomical. Dudes show up for the first time and start shooting motherfuckers' teeth off with pinpoint accuracy. Going to the competition's garage and start lighting the bitch up. Getting out the car and start brawling on the spot. Driving backwards to crash into other niggas and end their life. Jumping on the car and going JoJo mode. Individuals will just casually rip holes into other dimensions, go Super Saiyan, Terminator, Justice League Unlimited, Watchtower, big ass fucking laser mode. F-Zero actually stands for zero fucks given. Like, in the absolute insanity, the absolute blasphemy of the action just gets worse as time goes on. Ryu Suzaku goes through it. Bro is pushed to his absolute limit by the end of this show, and you can feel it. The payoffs to this anime's major plotlines are so goddamn satisfying. You could have me snort crack for 2 hours straight and I will feel nothing in comparison. This series, in addition, has some of the wildest and most universe-impacting plot twists I've ever seen in anime. I'm not gonna pretend like all of them make sense on paper, but in execution, like, who cares about that? They are no doubt going to make you feel something. I think if you're gonna watch this series, you need to do it at least twice, because there's foreshadowing to future events in early episodes that I completely missed at first, and legit started tearing up when I realized what their game was. Matter of fact, and I didn't even find this out until after I finished my second rewatch, but the show's opening, The Meaning of Truth, and the ending theme, Resolution, their lyrics completely summarize Ryu's character arc from beginning to end. I'm afraid of getting into too much detail because I actually want you to watch this shit.
They beat him up, stomped him, shot the dude, stomped the nigga again, and then I seen him take a dump on the dude. I swear to God, man, they actually like shot a deuce on this nigga, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?